Hello. This is something I'm really stoked about. This is my new model, and it's called the Warhorse Dread. So here's the deal. I've always had a love-hate relationship with dreadnoughts. And there's great stuff about dreadnoughts, but there are also a couple of things I don't like. One, let's talk about the looks. Okay. The the dreadnought, well look, I've got this. This is the Warhorse, and this is a dread I built in 2011 over using Martin pattern. Okay, so the pattern that they used, the Martin was designed, I believe, with primarily with ease of construction in mind. In that the top, where the neck joins and the tail are flat, and that makes it easier to join the neck. But I don't know, it's just not cool looking, man. I don't like flat spots, so I changed that because I'm not looking for ease of production. So I curved the top and the bottom of this guitar. I also feel like a dreadnought looks like a guitar that you got kind of hot and then set down on the ground and it kind of went blodge and it sort of like squooged down. Like the lower bouts are all flabby looking. I've never liked that. I just don't like the look. So I slenderized them and made them more curvy, and I accentuated the shoulders so that it reflected more like the rest of my guitar's designs, with a little bit of a tighter shoulder here. And I think that the results are a much more feminine and pleasant looking instrument than old Blodgeo here. And I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry I said that. You're a good guitar. I hope you don't take it personally. But on to this one. The other problem I have with dreadnoughts is that they sound, not all of them, but most of them tend to be bass heavy and plinky on the top. So I wanted to make a guitar that did both. Both has a huge bottom end and has a warm top end that's still like penetrating, because I mean the Dread was designed to compete with instruments that are louder than guitars were before the advent of the dreadnought. Like banjos and mandolins in small ensembles playing folk music, and just an old, like a small parlor guitar generally doesn't stand up as well to that. So I wanted to get that quality so you can play it unamplified in an ensemble, still flare out and shred, and yet it would be sensitive and beautiful when you played it quietly up the neck too. So I did this by tweaking the pattern that I use for the bracing, and also in the way that I thicknessed the top. The trick is that you got to get it floppy enough, the top floppy enough, so that the bottom end is really pronounced, but it has to be regionally stiff enough so that the top end doesn't dissipate. Because if the thinner the top gets, the more the top end suffers on a big guitar like this. So anyway, I used some of my very precious Sitka spruce that was milled in the 60s and has been sitting in Nevada aging since then. And this wood is just like, it's like gold to me. It's really beautiful. It's picked up, it's like a vintage guitar that hasn't been built yet. When you use this stuff, it's aged over the years so that it's really light and stiff. It's picked up coloration from aging. So like this top it already looks old. And it has no tone or anything like that. It's just clear lacquer. I love this wood. And I coupled it with my very best Indian rosewood for the back and sides. And this Indian is just primo stuff. I love it. Bound with curly maple. And then an unusual thing is that I braced it with redwood. And I checked my bracing stock before I use it to sort of categorize how stiff and how light it is. And this particular board of redwood, out of all the redwood stuff I have, is actually as stiff as any of my Sitka, but it only weighs 2/3 the amount. And I wish I had a bunch of it. But I don't, and I used it on this. And so the top is as light as the tops usually are for my Lion guitar, which is considerably smaller than this. So there it is, a very light top. And then the Warhorse. So I named it the Warhorse because I was announcing my aggressive intentions with this guitar to make like a battle axe. And I made a little mother of pearl emblem to put in the headstock there. And you notice I left, it's still a traditional looking, like I used my more traditional looking headstock and my modified pyramid bridge. So I'm trying to appeal to the sort of conservative attitude of bluegrass players and still satisfying my idea of having a modern instrument. So this guitar has tons of beans. Let me play it and see. See, I live for going. When you play Dread, you know that, like, it goes boom, 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 boom. Anyway, this guy has the bottom end, you know. And yet the top end speaks. And even up the neck, you know, when you... Myself a little out of tune there. Anyway, I had a goal making this guy, and I'm thinking that this is a pretty cool guitar. I built it to play at the California Bluegrass. I'm going to be exhibiting at the California Bluegrass Association's Father's Day Bluegrass Festival in Grass Valley in June. I built this to take there. If you want to come and check it out, it should be there. And I hope you agree with me on the looks, that it's still recognizably a dreadnought, but that it has a little special spice that sets it apart from the crowd. Anyway, that was my goal. I thank you for watching this video, and I will see you later.